Welcome to the Sanctum, everybody. This is AL. Sorry I sound so hoarse today. I'm on the tail end, I think, of my sinus infection, impaction. So hopefully this doesn't sound too bad. So today we're doing the Moonology Oracle cards from Yasmin Boland, artwork by Nix Rowan. And I wanted to go over this deck because a friend of mine had recommended this deck and said, "You've got to get this deck. You must get this deck. You have to have this deck." And I didn't disagree with her. So it took a while to get this deck because it was out of stock for quite some time. With good reason. I'm not going to lie. It was with good reason that it was out of stock. Now, first off, I want to tell you that this is all embossed. Even the top. And this is a great box, by the way. And in there it says, "Let the moon be your guide." And it's got purple. So, as if you've known, I am a purple girl in her purple world. So, this is awesome. Now, this is by Hay House. So, if you go to hayhouse.com or amazon.com, you'd be able to find this in stock right now. The book is fairly thin, fits nice into the box itself, and they break this down. Yasmin does a really great job of breaking it down, and of course the pictures are in black and white, into the phases of the moon. They talk about She talks about working with the cards, the moon phases, the new moon cards, the full moon cards, the special moon cards. And one of the things that she does is she talks about blessing the cards and what the cards are for, like creating your life, planning your life, predicting your life. Which was like, oh, hey. Now, it also helps you to learn the phase of the moons, which is kind of a really nice thing. And she has actually a book called Moonology, and if you haven't grabbed it, grab it in ebook form or in book form. Now, Hay House usually has a couple of sales a year. When it does go on sale, grab it then if you need to. Otherwise, grab it whenever. I grabbed it actually during a sale. I think I got it for like $3, $4 on ebook form. And it is fascinating. And I also got her astrology book too. Yeah, so Yasmin does astrology, and they're both, she does it in not necessarily, I don't want to say simple terms, but she does it in such a nice way where you don't feel one talked down to you, but at the same time too, that it's easy enough for you to follow along with. And one of the things I wanted to show you is that she does have a chart here that gives you the phases of the moon as a guide. And it's really nice because sometimes you forget which one follows which. And I admit, occasionally I'm like, well, whatever. Now, she talks about using the Celtic Cross spread for some of the cards for working with the spreads. And she does a 3-card spread for new moon and full moon. Whoop! Bye-bye. Where'd you go, my little thing? Think I just dropped the aventurine. And then she has a 4-card moon spread, which is the waxing moon and waning moon. And it's really interesting to work with this. And so I've been playing with it for a few days since I've got the deck. And I will be honest with you, I actually used these cards before I did a major job interview. And I was amazed. So I wanted to show you some of the cards because they are freaking gorgeous. Nix rocked this out of the house. I mean, I love moon cards. I love moon anyway, anything moon. But these are stunning. Look at that. They do deal with the south node, the north node, all the full moons, the new moon. I mean, so you have these gorgeous pictures within the actual scope. The harvest moons, the disseminating moon, new moon eclipse. I mean, and as you saw, the back of the card is just the phases of the moon, which is even better. Don't let pride get in your way. Be bold and make the first move. I mean, so these cards really, truly, the mutable moon, really come in a way to really kind of get at the depth of who and what you are. So this is definitely an about you deck. A deck that helps you to see more into your life. And yes, it's an oracle deck, so yes, you can use it for shadow work, but yes, it's also it also has the ability to, what's the word I'm looking for? You can use it when speaking about the working with others with you. So don't think that you can't use it in other ways. I used it on a personal note for me because of the fact that I really honestly was in a moment because I was thrown by a couple of personal facts when I was getting ready for my interview. As much as I thought I was prepared for my interview, and I wasn't, because I got shocked by a couple of changes that happened. Not that they were bad changes, it was just that they were changes. Oh, by the way, these cards, if you haven't seen, they are really super duper quality. They're also matte finish, and they are, although they're kind of big, like the normal Hay House big, they are wicked shuffleable. So they shuffle like a dream. They are like a dream shuffle. I shuffled these bitch cards. I love these cards. For a good hour or so in between calls while I was working before my interview. They were like, this is all I did for a good while I was prepping for my interview, was make notes and shuffle cards. I know that sounds kind of weird, but it does calm me down. So it worked between those and the Lenormand cards and my Simple Tarot. Those are the 3 decks I had out with me while I was prepping. And yeah, it worked. So we're going to go ahead and do a reading, just like I normally do. And we're going to ask for what is the best thing we can do for ourselves, for us. And since it's a timeless reading, it can be any time in your life that you're looking at this reading. Now, the nice thing about this reading is the fact that when we look at our own higher good, you know, if we're in the middle of change, if we're feeling stagnant, and we're looking at what higher good means, we're looking at what higher good means to ourselves. Is this a moment of change in our life? Is this something that we need to see and do better? Is this something that we need to work higher with? Or maybe it needs to be recognizing some of our internal things that we have been ignoring. So we're going to do it this way. And I bet you I did. So, since we're doing this, I'm going to explain what these are. What's rising up in me between me now and the moon in question. What's the solution to any challenge I face now? Advice and final outcome. So what we're looking at right now is communication is the key. New moon in Gemini. So basically what's coming up before you is the fact that communication is something that you're having and struggling with. You hold back. You don't communicate fully. You think that holding your secrets in and not sharing everything is a great way because, oh my God, I'm afraid to be hurt. Well, yeah, everybody is. But sometimes you have to tell somebody something. You have to let out some of who and what you are in order to resolve the issue at hand. Otherwise, it never gets resolved. I'm sorry, but it doesn't. Did I like letting people know that I had been raped? No. But when I started being open about it, I ended up helping a lot more people because of my experience and how I moved on and how I was actually able to learn how to accept love from friends and family, and actually to have a love life again and accept touch again, that it helped others who had been in the same situation to move on. So communication is a huge factor in this life. We don't communicate with each other. We communicate at each other. And that's a big difference. Communicating at somebody is not communicating. It's basically yelling. And you're not letting them have a say in anything. You basically are telling them, this is how it is, and if you don't like it, tough shit. Yeah, whatever, dude. And I mean, sometimes you have to do it for tough love purposes, but if you're doing that to protect yourself, then you're not learning anything either. You're basically hiding in with your head under the sand, and you're not teachable. Sorry, you're not. But it's also at the same time, the other person who's trying to learn from you isn't learning anything either, because you're not teaching them. You're not helping them to move on to their next point. So you're failing them too. And you have to understand that in concept. Everybody learns from everybody else in this lifetime. You're somebody's teacher, just as somebody teaches you. So you have to be able to understand and realize there are times when you have to open up. You have to be real. It doesn't mean that you have to give out every single part of your life. But there are times when you have to actually open up and say, here I am, and this is part of me that nobody else has known about, and this is the reason why. And they'll go, oh my God, you know what? I have been holding this back from everybody, but you get it, and this is the reason why. And you make a connection, and that connection, that communication, is a dual-way communication that helps you to move forward. So now we're going to go to the solution to any challenge. Is what do you need to release? The waning moon. So yeah, this is also definitely linked to this one. A lot of times we hold back things that we need to release. We need to let go, whether it's the past, whether it is the present issue that has just happened, that really in the scheme of things from 5 years from now ain't going to make no bit of difference. Sometimes we have repeat performers. What I call the same issue happens all the time. And it's not really the same issue. It's actually a repetition of the core issue. And we haven't, and it seems to keep coming. Now, I'm going to be dead honest with y'all. When that happens, it's not them that's the problem, it's you. Because you haven't resolved the core issue. Because again, it's to the challenges you face. What's the solution? What haven't you released? If you haven't released it, it's going to come back in your face. Wow. It's amazing. Now, I can be like this. I can be sarcastic about this. Because it took me many, many years to get to this point. It took me most of my teens and 20s to get to that point. Once I realized that I had to let go of some of my past, or I would never have a future. And I mean never have a future, as in like I was thinking about suicide. I realized at that point I had to do something. Because I still knew I had stuff to give the world. I knew I had stuff to give to others. But I was letting my past influence my present. I was letting my past keep me from doing anything, from communicating well, from preventing me from moving forward and making a success out of my life. So you have to ask yourself, what do you need to release to help you move forward, to overcome your challenges? And that's something that you have to do. Sometimes it's hate that people did to you. Sometimes you gotta let it go, because you know what? You're letting them win. Sorry, but you are. The longer you hold on to it, worse it becomes, and the more you hide away. Because you know what? They're in your past, and they can't hurt you anymore. You have the people now you have to deal with. They're not the same people. They're not exactly the same type. So by ascribing their beliefs and their words to the people in your past, you're basically doing them a disservice. So you need to learn to release those things. What are you needing to release now to move forward, conquer your challenges, and move to the next level of who you need to be? Now, the advice that's given. Oh, another Gemini, another Leo. Confidence is the key to your success. Most of us lack true confidence. We're in the fake it to make it mode. Like, no, seriously. A lot of us are in the fake it to make it mode. I would be one of them. That's what I did at my interview. Let me be that. And here's the reason why I say that. Not because I didn't think I was qualified for the job. I am. But there's always going to be people who are better than you. Always. But you got to have the confidence to believe that you can do the job. Even if you have to learn aspects of it. Do you know a lot of it? Hell yeah. Are there things I need to learn? Well, of course. Everybody does. So what makes me better than they are? Because I can be honest about it. And more importantly, I already know 3/4 of the job. What I have to learn is a tiny smidgen compared to whatever people need to do. So that's what I'm talking about. Having confidence in the fact that you know what you're doing out there. The advice is be confident. You know what you know. You know how to get things done. You know that this way that you've been doing these, that you've learned to organize your life, your planning sessions, your way that you've done to help yourself lose weight has made you look good, made you feel good, make you work better. Your key to your health, that you've gone from being sick to being a lot healthier and feeling better and moving better. That has been a way you need to be confident about it, because hey, look, somebody asks you, how did you do this? It was hard work, but I'll tell you what, these changes I made, these whole health changes have been outstanding for me. This is what this is talking about. What is your confidence in? What have you done? That's your key to success. Be confident, be strong, because you've already communicated things. You've released the crap out of your life. So now be confident that everything else that you've done is leading you now to success in your life. Because you're getting to that place in your life that now you're able to sit there and say, boom, I can go to the next level. I am allowed to go to the next level because I have worked for it. I am worth this. So now we're going to look at the final outcome. Now, the Void Moon, of course, says nothing will come of this situation. And this has always been the case. And what the Void Moon, of course, Moon is about, and I'm going to be honest with you, whenever I've seen this card, there's always been a couple of different ways of looking at it. And one, does it mean that you're not going to succeed? It can be. But just like the Void, of course, is what it does is it's attuning yourself. It means you need to trust in your highest good. Are you trusting in your highest good? Because if you're not, nothing's going to come of this situation. This is all about trust. That is what the Void is about. Do you trust in it? Do you trust that you've done all this? Have you done all this? Because if you haven't done any of it, nothing comes of it. If you haven't finalized all of this, forget. You're not going to get your final outcome that you deserve. It means that something better is coming around the corner. Something better is coming. What you're looking at the current moment isn't it. Something better is coming. Finish these. Get these done. Something better is coming. What's right now isn't it. Don't just sit for what you have now. Look to what you have coming forward. Believe you will get what you need. Take time out, meditate, and contemplate. The main definition of void of course moon is when the moon won't make a major connection with any of the planets until she enters the next sign. The best thing you can do when you get this card is to chant the Sanskrit words Om Namo Narayani, which means I surrender to the divine. A void of course moon is just time to be. So ask yourself, are you just being? Are you prepping yourself? Have you done this work to prepare for what's better around the corner tomorrow? Have you prepped for what's good for you? Because what's coming is going to be better. Because if you fail to do any of these three things, you're not going to get anything now. But if you've prepped, what's coming ahead is going to be beautiful. That's something that's being seen to. So ask yourself, am I communicating? Have I released what I need to release? Am I confident that I'm going to be successful? Have I released everything I need to release and trust in the fact that something tomorrow, something that's not a long time away, that's actually short time away, is coming to bless me? If you don't, then you're basically dooming yourself. Remember, part of when you read cards is the fact that it's what's seen. The other part is the fact that when you start doing these things, you invoke change, and any one of these things can start to switch what happens in the universe and mold these into a different direction. So if you start communicating and releasing things, naturally your confidence is going to change. So will that change this card? It can. It can change that card in an instant into a hold your vision card. Hold that vision. Hold strong. It depends on you. You change your future by doing what's good and what's best for you. Holding on to bad things doesn't help you. It never has. It makes you smaller. It makes your world smaller and more negative. And negative emotions, negative feelings do nothing more than smallify yourself even further. It makes you feel even worse than what you are before. Ridding yourself of those negative feelings, having the confidence that you're going to be better and stronger, communicating with others, finding like-minded people so you can get rid of those feelings, learn to lean on others, help lift yourself up higher, is going to broaden your world, strengthen your world, give you a place to feel that you don't have to be alone, broaden your aspects. You'll be able to find that beautiful moment outside yourself. Your outcome is going to be better. So hold fixed, hold true to what you want. Do the hard work. So that's what the Moonology cards are. They are intent. They are definitely not simple or easy. They are truly, I think, a great tool for anybody who, one, is interested in the moon, two, for anybody who likes to get deep within themselves, deep within the astrology portion, but also themselves, their self portion, looking into the deeply of their own mind and heart. So I do rate these a 10 out of 10 or 7 out of 7 chakra. So definitely, if you get a chance to get them, whether it's on sale or at the regular price or however, get them. I think I paid regular price for them, and I don't care, because it was I was the most happiest person in the universe because they were in stock finally. So I was thrilled to get them. So please, definitely, if you get a chance to work with them, if a friend gets them and you get a chance to hold the cards and work with the cards, play with them for a little bit, see how effective they are for you. I am pretty excited that I got them, and I cannot thank my friend high enough for recommending the cards to me. So until next time, Bendethian.